Hey, Brian Miller here, and thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode of Thursday Thoughts, all about the video chat. Well, it's official. The entire world has joined video conferencing. This has been a part of my regular working life for years. I've been using Zoom calls, and I'm guessing if you're here on YouTube, you're probably a little bit more familiar with this than it seems most of the world is. I'm kind of fascinated that so many people are just discovering video chatting, even though everyone's known about FaceTime and Skype for ages. I guess it's just not something people thought about as a real means in and of itself. Most people, I guess, probably treated it more like a fun thing to do occasionally with their grandparents. But so basically, here's where we're at. There are folks that I've spoken to in the last couple of days who last week were just complaining about their annoying coworkers who right now are working from home in a spare bedroom, like in the dark, in front of their computer by themselves, wishing they could have back those water cooler conversations from those annoying coworkers, right? We've got managers at organizations all over the world who have continually for years refused to invest in soft skills for their employees and are now discovering how incredibly difficult it is to lead and engage a team remotely who don't have the soft skills. And of course, we've got college students, many of them who just last month were sitting in my audiences, kind of giggling and elbowing their friends in the ribs, you know, when I was trying to describe the loneliness epidemic and what we can do about it. They thought that was kind of funny and kind of silly. And now, just a month later, those same college students are putting everyone's lives at risk because they can't go a single day without seeing their friends. It turns out we need each other a lot more than we thought. So let's talk about the connection challenge. All over the world, people report speaking to, chatting with friends and family more in the past week than they have maybe in the past year. We are reconnecting with childhood friends, college friends, former colleagues at record pace, and thanking our lucky stars that all this happened in a world with high-speed internet and video conferencing. Can you imagine if this had happened just 15 to 20 years ago? It's a strange and unpredictable time. But with all things, we will get used to it. Soon, this will become the new norm, and with that, the calls, the video calls, they will decrease. See, right now, video conferencing itself, the technology is standing in for connection. But we're all about to discover that the video chat is really just a means to an end. The end in itself, true connection, must be accomplished by us, not the software. At some point, talking about the pandemic, talking about COVID-19 will just be akin to like talking about the weather or the traffic. It'll be white noise that no one really hears or notices anymore. Kind of like how your colleague or coworker will ask you a question and you answer the question you thought they were going to ask instead of the one they actually do. Like, what did you do this weekend? And you're like, fine, thank you. They don't even correct you because they didn't actually care about the answer. They were just making socially obligatory noises to pass the time. And we need to talk about time. Across the globe, we are rediscovering our relationship with time. See, it turns out time is at once fleeting and infinite. It's infinite if you're suddenly stuck at home, because what are you going to do with yourself all day, every day, for potentially months or, God forbid, years on end? I mean, how many projects can you give your kids before they just flat out get bored? Or how long can you sit in the backyard and stare at the same tree before you need a change of scenery? So time is infinite, but it's also fleeting. It's fleeting because lives will be lost. They're being lost already in record numbers. Plans have been scrapped and imagined futures are being pulled out from under us. For the unlucky, time has never been more precious. And for the rest of us, time will drag its feet in the wake of our shared experience. This is a year we will never forget. It will change us forever. But we get to choose if we're changed for the worse or better. And so we have an opportunity. In this moment, we get to reinvent how the world thinks and operates. What do we really care about at home, at work, in our community? And personally, what have you been putting off because you just didn't have the time or the energy? Great news, you can do that thing now. If you can watch this video, you have access to Google and YouTube, which means you have the entire bundle of knowledge and wisdom from all of humanity's history at your fingertips. All of it. Right now, you have access to that. What an age we live in. So you've always wanted to write a blog or a short story? Start today. You've dreamed of running a podcast? Hit record right now. You want to learn to cartoon? You don't even need pencils and paper and drawing supplies. Just use your finger and your phone. Read philosophy, write poetry, study art history, learn to play that acoustic guitar you bought 7 years ago that's collecting dust in a spare bedroom. Invent a board game, make short films, sing badly. And most importantly, do these things with others. Establish weekly video meetups with friends or friends of friends who want to go on the same journey as you. Check in, give each other accountability, share your art, share your passion. That is the beauty of living in an age with high-speed internet and video conferencing. Not the technology, but the ability to connect even from afar. So instead of talking about the weather, let's connect over our shared experience. When this is behind us, and it will be behind us, you will emerge stronger, smarter, and more capable than you ever dreamed possible. As my client Carrie Coe said in her TED Talk, recently said in her TED Talk,
right now, even in your suffering, there's someone looking to you for inspiration.
Even now in your suffering, someone is looking to you for inspiration. The time is now. It's your turn. What will you do with it? Well, that's it for this week's episode of Thursday Thoughts. Before I let you go, I just wanted you to know that there are a couple of really cool announcements. One, because I've got time to do a lot more editing, the podcast is going weekly. That's right, every single Monday starting next week, there's going to be a brand new in-depth conversation with legends and leaders of industries about the relationships, connections, and chance encounters on which they built success. And yes, this is going to continue to be relevant even in a world of social distancing. If anything, it's more relevant than ever because the whole idea of the Beyond Networking podcast is building a sustainable career in an unpredictable world. Well, there's nothing more unpredictable than right now. And yet, leaders will emerge. It's already happening. Times of great crisis, times of great unpredictability tend to yield some of the most important, some of the most incredible companies, organizations, and people that the world has ever seen. It may as well be you. And on that note, I am launching a public mastermind for the first time ever. This is something that I do and I don't ever talk about here on YouTube. I run private masterminds for different sorts of people, for upper management, executives, leadership, and organizations. I run masterminds for freelancers and business leaders and entrepreneurs. And for the first time ever, I'm actually opening up a public mastermind. It's going to start in May. There's just a few details right now on the link in the description below, or check the comment that I've pinned to this YouTube video. But if you want to get on the wait list, there's only going to be 10 spots available. And I know there's a few people who already have expressed interest. So these spots are going to go fast. Go to the link in the description to get on the public waiting list to be the first who gets the information and the opportunity to jump in. It's going to be a 4-month mastermind. There's going to be a 1-hour video call every month with the entire cohort. So it's not just me. I'm just there to facilitate. You're going to get to learn how to be a leader in the human connection revolution from all these other amazing people on the same journey as you, who believe the same core values that you do. But Every single person in the mastermind will also get a monthly 30-minute one-on-one call with me. You're going to get access to a private Facebook group just for the mastermind to share resources and get additional tips and videos and stuff like that from me. So it's going to be incredible. I'm so excited about it. Go to the link in the description, which I believe is brianmillerspeaks.com/join to jump on the public mastermind waitlist. Oh, one last thing. My buddy Adam Krutinger, who you heard on the first season of the podcast, is a world-renowned puppet builder and a full-time art teacher in Buffalo, New York. He and I started about a month ago recording a slimmed-down version of the weekly check-in calls we've been having for years and years and years, and we are uploading those every week, usually Monday, sometimes Tuesday, on a new YouTube channel called On to the Next Project. If you want to check that out, that's also a link in the description. That said, my name is Brian Miller. Thanks so much for sticking with me, and always remember, our world is a shared experience, perhaps more now than it's ever been. We'll see you soon.